Hello and welcome to another video from the only channel that you need to not only survive the current apocalypse, but actually enjoy it. And in today's video, we're going to be cooking a turkey in a Dutch oven. Now, this is a conclusion of a two-part video. Hopefully, you've already watched part one. If not, I highly recommend that you go back and take a look at that so you can see just what all is involved in getting our turkey to this point. Now we're going to go ahead and get the turkey ready for putting on the fire. All right, now it's time to put our turkey in. First thing I gotta do is get some of this grease off my hands. A little bit more compost. I've actually been dumping a lot of compost right here. I'm trying to get this built up so that all my Bania beans will come up and my taro roots will come up. Those are food crops that'll just keep on growing. So don't hurt me to throw trash in the yard. Oh, since plastic don't compost, I won't be throwing that over the handrail. That's going to end up in that fire that we're cooking this on. Got to sniff my turkey to make sure it ain't going bad. Oh yeah, it smells fresh. Been out there thawing so long, I wasn't sure, how long it had been sitting in my fridge thawed. All right, when you get one of these things, there's always going to be the giblets inside, and they never get that right. Sometimes they got giblets from 2 turkeys in there. Sometimes there ain't none. Sometimes you open it up and be 3 livers. But sometimes I have done quite a few turkeys without finding the giblets, and then find them after I get down to making sandwich meat. Oh yeah, there's my neck, which used to fight over that with my daddy, but he ain't around no more. And yeah, once again, I am not going to find the rest of the giblets, if they're even in there. Man, I really hope that at least my gizzard's somewhere around here. Yeah, once again, I'm going to cook this thing and find the liver and heart and gizzard after I'm done. But I'm going to let you look in there just so you know. Not imagining it, I cannot find my giblets. So we're going to go ahead and lay this out for cooking. And this, we're not going to pour this in there. I'm going to set this aside. This never makes enough gravy for me, so I'm going to go, oh no, it's a leaking. Save my gravy pack for later. That will thicken, but I'm going to go ahead and make some flour roux. Put a little bit more stuff in it, like bouillon cubes. And they don't make a turkey bouillon cube, so I just put chicken bouillon in there. I may put like 3 chicken bouillon and 1 beef bouillon. And of course the overwhelming flavor of the turkey is going to make that other stuff meaningless. But we'll have lots and lots of gravy. I'm addicted to gravy. All right, the only thing I'm going to put on this turkey is some salt and some rosemary, because my mama's rosemary bush was real ugly and she told me I could have it. I'd moved it over here. And I'll tell you something, I've moved a bunch of rosemary bushes. I ain't never got one to take. They always just die. And this one here died, so I went and peeled all the leaves off of it. And rosemary is a good poultry seasoner. Really good on turkey. Now you could cut up a lot of onions and celery and bell pepper and all that stuff and put around in there, but then when you go to make your gravy, that stuff gets in the way. So we're not going to do that. Anyways, this is what we're going to put over the fire, and hopefully in a couple of hours we'll have a turkey. Pour a little oil on the outside of it. I'm trying to keep this thing from rusting away. Shoot, I should have done the whole outside of this thing. All right. I think we can put this in here. All right. Looks pretty stable. You know, if you buy a cheap Dutch oven, a lot of people don't want a cheap skillet or a cheap Dutch oven. To me, they're the same so far, with the exception of two things. Here I'm grabbing leaves off. I'm about to throw a log up there. Really expensive Dutch ovens come pre-seasoned. Saves you a lot of work, a lot of effort, and a little bit of oil. But another thing is this bail, the handle, wire handle, on a good Dutch oven will never bend. On a cheap Dutch oven, the first time you put something heavy in it, it'll bend. So, you know, if you want a good handle on your Dutch oven, you got to spend some money. All right. Now, it's called a Dutch oven, not a Dutch kettle. Kettles you cook from the bottom, just like in your house. Oven, you're cooking from the bottom and the top. In other words, you're putting your food in a hot container. So we're going to go ahead and do that, simulate that with this Dutch oven. And the way we're going to do that, I'm going to put some stuff on top. If you notice, the lid is shaped like a bowl. Well, the reason for that is so that you can load the top of your Dutch oven with some hot stuff. So you're cooking from the top and the bottom. I even bake bread in these things. Something I used to bake bread in here. I don't mess with that no more. I used to take the bread machine and make the dough, and then take and put the dough in the Dutch oven. But like I say, we got a solar cooker now, and we are lazy. I think that's going to be it. I'll have to do, which is okay. We'll let that sit on there for a while. We'll come checking on it a little later. When we do, I'll put a thermometer in there. I meant to put it in when I put it in my Dutch oven, but I forgot. So, we got to add it later, because you got to know what the temperature is. It's the only way you know if this thing is done. Now, I ran off for a while, which means, in my microphone cord, I ran off for a little while, which means that my turkey's probably overdone, but we'll take a look at it. I got a thermometer in it. Ugh. The thermometer recommends that this turkey be cooked till it hits a 165, which I've learned from experience, it might just be this thermometer. When it hits 160, you need to stop, otherwise you start drying the thing out. So we're going to open this up, take a look at it. And sure enough, we're at 180, so that's way over the limit, but I think it'll probably still be okay. I guess you can see that down there. We'll go ahead and put our roux in there with a little bit of water and some bouillon cubes and make some dressing, but I gotta get the turkey out of there before I can do that. So the first thing we gotta do is get this out of here, and I'm gonna try to transfer this into this popcorn, stainless steel popcorn bowl. If I can. Sounds to me like my trivet still stuck to that thing. All right. Well, that's okay. Trivet's got to come out before I can make a roux. And just to make this a little easier, I think I'll do it on the stove top, since we're already set up for that. Put a little flour in there. I think it's about a cup or so. And turn the heat up. We're going to brown that. It looks like it's got enough grease in it, but I'm gonna add a little bit more oil anyway. Here's my trusty whisk. Now, one of the things about making gravy for a turkey, it's not like beef gravy where you want to make it dark, but anytime you cook in a cast iron Dutch oven, your gravy's going to get dark. Let me go ahead and put this camera over here where you can see it. I'll go ahead and, you can see that's really, really dark. I'm going to go ahead and turn the heat off since it holds a lot of heat anyway. I'm going to boil 4 bouillon cubes in 4 cups of water. And I'm actually going to use chicken bouillon. And I always usually use 1 beef bouillon cube with 3 chicken bouillon cubes. What I'm adding right now is just water, and I just add a little bit of the thyme and kind of whisk it in, because if you don't, you get really lumpy gravy, which I'll probably have lumpy gravy anyway, but that's okay. And you're actually not supposed to add bouillon cubes to turkey gravy. You know, real turkey gravy is just so wonderful, but it don't bother me. To me, a bouillon cube ain't nothing but a block of salt. If I gotta add salt, I feel like I might as well just use a bouillon cube and get even more flavor than what I would have got just from my turkey. And another secret to making gravy is if you're putting hot roux and hot water together, it does better than putting cold water in hot roux, and it doesn't seem to steam as much if you let everything get a little cool. If you try to add water to a roux that is freshly made, it will be so much hotter than the boiling point of water that it generally just, it can actually cause a fire. I think my wife and I have caused a stove fire one time by adding water too quickly to some really hot roux. Now this is the one with bouillon cubes in it. So I'm going to stir it up a bit just to break them bouillon cubes up. This is going to be some incredible gravy. I know it's unusual to see brown gravy, or turkey gravy this dark, but that's just the way it goes when you're cooking with a Dutch oven. Continue breaking up those bouillon cubes, because there's always little bits and pieces that don't get dissolved. There we go. That's how much gravy I'm going to have. Now, if you have to take some kind of a narcotic to go to sleep, I'm going to tell you a natural way to get by that. Just eat some rice with turkey gravy on it. They say it's a turkey, but I've ate turkey before without falling asleep, but I can't eat turkey gravy without falling asleep. Bring this up to a boil just to thicken it some. Which ain't going to take much. This is pretty hot. I put hot broth and hot roux together. And roux, in case you don't know what that is, a roux is flour and oil that have been whisked while heated until the flour starts to burn and turn colors. Which we don't have to do with this because, like I said, this stuff is dark enough anyway. I think now would be a good time to add this gravy mix that came with it. And you can just pour that into some, the broth or whatever from the turkey. But this is not high quality gravy. Let me show you what that looks like. I don't throw nothing away, and it ain't bad. All right, we're starting to boil, which means it's time to start whisking again. You don't have to do this for a minute. Just a little bit thin. I don't have a goal. I don't have any rules for how to get exactly the right thickness of gravy, but I'm always hoping that I get it just right. Not too thick and not too thin. My wife's making some dressing. So we're going to have turkey and dressing and gravy, but I'm going to make some rice because that's my addiction. Turkey gravy on rice. Speaking of rice, there it is, sitting in a rice cooker because we don't cook everything out in the yard. Some small appliances are too easy and too efficient not to use, such as a rice cooker or this bread cooker. Bread cooker is especially important for today because we got some leftover rice and we're using it to make rice bread. Didn't get done in time for the meal, but we'll have that tonight. Today we're going to be eating some cranberry sauce, canned cranberry sauce, the ones with the full berries in it. Some yams right out of a can. Normally I'll doctor them up, but these are the kind that's already pretty good. We're also having some gravy here with our turkey, and there, if you look at the turkey, you may notice something. I'll give you a little closer look. That's right, I found my giblets. One of these days I might have to have my mama over here when I'm getting the turkey ready so she can show me where they hide those things. I never can find them. There's the whole meal, and we're going to go eat, and we got quite a bit of leftover turkey. We've already had this 3 times. We had turkey the day we made it, and we had turkey sandwiches yesterday, and what you just saw is what we're eating today. Love y'all, and as always, if you don't want to survive, don't listen to me.